What if you were born blind, and the first time you open your eyes, the world didn't look like the beautiful stories you imagined? What if colors overwhelmed you, and faces felt like strangers? Would gaining sight be a blessing or a curse? This is the story of Amina, a girl who saw the world for the first time, and had to learn all over again how to live in it. In a quiet Nigerian village called Amara, where red earth cracked beneath the midday sun, lived a girl named Amina. She had never seen the sky, never seen her mother's face. Born blind, her world was wrapped in shadows. Yet she knew more than most who could see. She could tell when the wind carried news. She could hear sadness in someone's footsteps. She knew the river's song by heart and could recognize every flower by its scent. But Amina's story wasn't about what she lacked. It was about what the world refused to see, until one man, a stranger with nothing to gain, listened to her voice. And everything changed. Her mother often told her stories, weaving colorful pictures from words. "The sky is blue, my child," she would say. "Not just any blue, but a deep, endless blue like the ocean. When the sun sets, it turns into fire, red, orange, gold, and purple. And the stars? They sparkle like diamonds scattered across a black velvet cloth." Amina would lie quietly, imagining those colors in the darkness, longing to see them herself. But the villagers pitied her. Many whispered that she would never live a full life, that blindness was a curse she would carry forever. Her father was quieter, but his worry showed in his furrowed brow. One evening, as the orange sun dipped low, Amina sat outside with her mother. "Mama, will I ever see the sky?" Her mother smiled sadly. "I do not know, my child, but never stop hoping." News spread through the village that a healer named Dr. Samuel had arrived in the nearby town. He was said to perform surgeries that could restore sight in certain cases. Hope stirred in Amina's heart. Her parents decided to take her on a long, dusty journey to the clinic. The road was hard, and Amina held tightly to her mother's hand, her heart pounding with fear and anticipation. At the clinic, Dr. Samuel examined Amina carefully. Her blindness is caused by cataracts, he explained gently to her parents. With surgery and treatment, there's a chance she may see. Though the chance was small, Amina's parents agreed to proceed. The night before surgery, Amina lay awake, wondering what awaited her. What if I do not recognize the world? She thought. What if the colors are frightening, or the faces unfamiliar? When the morning light spilled through the window, Amina was taken into the operating room. The procedure was long and delicate. When she finally awoke, the world was a blur of shapes and shadows. "Open your eyes slowly," Dr. Samuel said kindly. Amina blinked, and the room came into focus. She saw the white ceiling, the metal tools, the soft face of her mother smiling through tears. "I can see you," Amina whispered, disbelief filling her voice. "Yes, my child, you can see." Tears streamed down her cheeks as the room brightened and the shapes sharpened. She reached out to touch her mother's face, no longer a mystery, but a person with soft brown eyes and gentle hands. Yet, sight was overwhelming. The sun's brightness stung her eyes. The faces she knew by voice looked different now. Amina felt like a stranger in this new, vivid world. Walking was harder than before. Without her cane, she stumbled on uneven ground. Colors flooded her mind. The green of the leaves, the red earth, the blue sky. All confusing, all strange. One afternoon, she sat beneath the ancient baobab tree outside her home, tears filling her eyes. Her father sat beside her quietly. "Why is it so hard?" she asked. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "Because you're learning to see the world anew. It takes time, but you are strong, Amina." Days passed, and with patience, Amina grew more confident. She practiced walking, naming colors, learning to recognize people by their faces and expressions. One day, her friend Jamal came to visit. "You look different," he said, smiling. "I am," Amina said softly. "But sometimes I miss the world I knew before." Jamal nodded. "The world is full of surprises, both seen and unseen." Amina smiled. "Thank you for helping me. I couldn't do this without you." the village began to see Amina differently. No longer just the blind girl. She became a symbol of hope and courage. She started teaching other children to read and write, sharing her stories and encouraging them to believe in themselves. Months later, the village held a festival. Amina was invited to speak. Standing before the crowd, she felt her heart race, but her voice was steady. "I want to tell you a story," she began. "A story about darkness and light, about fear and hope, about learning to see not only with our eyes, but with our hearts." She spoke of her blindness, the surgery, and a strange new world she was learning to navigate. Sometimes, life gives us challenges we cannot choose, but we can choose how to meet them, with courage, patience, and love. The crowd was silent, then erupted in applause. That night, as the stars twinkled overhead, Amina stood outside her home. The sky was no longer just a story told by her mother. It was real, vast, and beautiful. She closed her eyes, feeling the cool night breeze on her skin. "I have seen the world open up before me," she thought. "But my true sight has always been inside." Years passed. Amina grew into a young woman, her sight now steady and sure. She pursued education with a fierce passion, determined to become a teacher and bring knowledge to her village. Her journey was not without setbacks. Sometimes her eyes would tire, or emotions overwhelmed her. But her spirit never faltered. She traveled beyond Amara, meeting people from different places, seeing wonders she had only dreamed of as a child. Through it all, she remembered the lessons she learned in darkness, the strength of patience, the power of hope, and the gift of love. One day, as she returned to her village with books and supplies for the school she helped build, Amina stood once more beneath the baobab tree. The sun was setting, painting the sky in every color her mother had described. She smiled, tears of joy glistening in her eyes. The world was no longer a mystery. It was a vibrant tapestry she could finally see. But more importantly, it was a world she had learned to understand. With her eyes, yes, but above all, with her heart. If this story inspired you, please like and subscribe. And let us know in the comment section what you feel. This is Ola's Stories, where every story matters.